If you're over 50 and you wake up feeling tired, sluggish, or like you just can't seem to get going, no matter how much sleep you got, I want you to know something important. It might not be your age. It might not even be your health. It could be what you're doing in those first few minutes after you open your eyes each morning. Today, I'm going to share 7 common morning mistakes that many seniors make without even realizing it. And these habits could be draining your energy before your day even begins. The good news is, once you know what to look for, these are some of the easiest fixes you can make. And I'll walk you through every single one, step by step, with gentler options if you need them. Hello, my friend, and welcome back. I'm Dr. Sarah Truman. Before we dive in, I want to be clear about something important. I'm a health coach and wellness educator. I'm not a medical doctor, and this video is not medical advice. Everything I share today is for general educational purposes only. Please talk to your own doctor or healthcare provider before making any changes to your routine, especially if you have any health conditions or take medications. Your doctor knows your personal situation best, and nothing I say here replaces their guidance. I just want to make sure we're on the same page about that. Now, here's why I wanted to make this video. So many people I talk to tell me they feel exhausted even after what they thought was a decent night's sleep. They assume it's just part of getting older, or they think something must be wrong with them. But when we start looking at their morning routines, we often find small habits that are quietly working against them. And the beautiful thing is, when you adjust these little things, you may notice a real difference in how you feel throughout your entire day, not just in the morning, but all day long. Here's what we'll cover today. We're going to go through 7 specific morning mistakes. I'll explain why each one matters, what it might be doing to your energy levels, and exactly what you can do instead. We'll also talk about some common myths around morning routines, when you should actually see a doctor about fatigue, and I'll give you a simple summary at the end so you can remember everything easily. Sound good? Let's get started. First, let's talk about why mornings matter so much for your energy, especially as we get older. You see, your body has something called a circadian rhythm. Think of it like an internal clock that tells your body when to wake up, when to feel alert, when to wind down, and when to sleep. When you're younger, this clock tends to be pretty resilient, but as we age, it can become more sensitive to disruption. What you do in those first 30 to 60 minutes after waking up can either help set that internal clock properly, or it can throw things off for the entire day. Here's another thing that changes as we get older. Our bodies don't regulate certain things as efficiently as they used to. Blood sugar can fluctuate more easily. Blood pressure may take a little longer to stabilize when we stand up. Our muscles and joints might feel stiffer after a night of rest. Hormones like cortisol, which helps you feel alert, may not spike as strongly or as quickly in the morning as they did when we were younger. None of this means anything is wrong with you. It's just the natural process of aging, and it happens to everyone. But here's the key. Because our bodies are a little more sensitive in these areas, the habits we have in the morning matter more than ever. A 20-year-old might be able to skip breakfast, chug 3 cups of coffee, and sprint out the door without noticing any consequences. But for those of us over 50, those same habits can leave us feeling drained, foggy, or shaky by mid-morning. The good news is, small adjustments can make a meaningful difference. You have more control than you might think. So let's go through these 7 mistakes one by one, and I'll show you what you can do instead. The first morning mistake that may be draining your energy is hitting the snooze button over and over. I know how tempting it is. That alarm goes off and you think, just 5 more minutes. But here's what happens when you keep hitting snooze. Each time you drift back to sleep and then wake up again, you're interrupting your sleep cycle. Your brain starts to enter a new sleep phase, but then it gets yanked back out before it can finish. This can leave you feeling groggy and disoriented, a state that sleep researchers sometimes call sleep inertia. And for some people, that foggy feeling can last for hours. Instead of relying on the snooze button, try this. First, set your alarm for the actual time you need to wake up, not earlier. If you know you're going to hit snooze 3 times, you're actually getting less restful sleep in those final 30 minutes than if you just slept through. Second, when your alarm goes off, try to sit up right away, even if you don't get out of bed immediately. Just changing your position from lying down to sitting up sends a signal to your brain that it's time to wake. Third, consider placing your alarm across the room so you have to physically get up to turn it off. I know that might sound annoying, but many people find it really helps. And fourth, once you're up, try to resist the urge to lie back down. Even sitting on the edge of the bed for a minute or two is better than going back under the covers. If you have mobility issues or pain that makes getting up difficult, that's okay. Just do what you can. Even raising the head of your bed or propping yourself up on pillows can help. The goal is to avoid that repeated wake-sleep-wake cycle that leaves you feeling worse, not better. The second morning mistake is jumping out of bed too quickly. Now, I know I just told you not to hit snooze, but I want to be clear about something. There's a difference between getting up promptly and leaping out of bed like the house is on fire. When you've been lying down all night, your blood pressure is naturally lower. When you stand up suddenly, your body needs a moment to adjust and push blood back up to your brain. For many seniors, this adjustment happens a little more slowly than it used to. If you stand up too fast, you might feel dizzy, lightheaded, or unsteady on your feet. In some cases, this can even lead to falls, which we absolutely want to avoid. Here's what I suggest instead. When you first wake up, take a moment to stretch gently while you're still lying down. Wiggle your fingers and toes, bend and straighten your knees a few times, roll your ankles in circles. This helps get your blood moving. Then sit up slowly and stay seated on the edge of the bed for at least 30 seconds to a full minute. Take a few slow, deep breaths. Notice how you feel. If you're dizzy or lightheaded, stay seated a little longer. When you feel steady, stand up slowly and keep one hand on the bed or a sturdy nightstand for support. Give yourself another few seconds standing still before you start walking. This might seem like a lot of steps, but the whole process only takes a couple of minutes, and it can make a real difference in how stable and alert you feel. If you regularly feel very dizzy when you stand up, please mention this to your doctor. There could be other factors at play that they can help you address. The third morning mistake that can drain your energy is going too long without water or food. When you sleep, you go 6, 7, maybe 8 hours or more without drinking anything. By the time you wake up, your body is already mildly dehydrated, and even mild dehydration can make you feel tired, sluggish, and foggy. On top of that, if you skip breakfast or wait several hours before eating, your blood sugar can drop, which also contributes to low energy and difficulty concentrating. Now, I'm not saying you need to eat a huge meal the moment your feet hit the floor, but within the first hour or so of waking, it helps to have something. Start with a glass of water. Keep a glass or water bottle by your bed if that makes it easier. Room temperature water is often gentler on the stomach first thing in the morning. Some people like to add a squeeze of lemon, but plain water is perfectly fine. Drink this before you have coffee or tea, or at least alongside it. As for food, you don't need anything fancy. A piece of whole grain toast with some peanut butter, a small bowl of oatmeal, some yogurt with a few berries, a banana, and a handful of nuts. The key is to include a little protein and some complex carbohydrates, which helps stabilize your blood sugar and give you steady energy rather than a quick spike and crash. If you're not hungry first thing in the morning, start small. Even half a banana is better than nothing. Your appetite in the morning may actually increase once you make this a habit. If you have diabetes or any condition that affects how you eat or drink in the morning, please follow your doctor's specific guidance. This is general advice, and your situation may require a different approach. The fourth morning mistake is reaching for your phone or turning on the news the moment you wake up. I know this has become almost automatic for many of us. You open your eyes, and the first thing you do is check your messages, scroll through social media, or flip on the television to see what's happening in the world. But here's the problem. When you immediately flood your brain with information, especially information that might be stressful or upsetting, you're triggering your stress response right out of the gate. Your body releases cortisol and adrenaline, your heart rate might increase, and your mind starts racing before you've even had a chance to fully wake up. Over time, this habit can leave you feeling mentally drained and anxious, and that anxious energy often gets mistaken for physical tiredness. It's exhausting to start every day in a state of low-level stress. Instead, try giving yourself a screen-free buffer in the morning. Even 15 or 20 minutes can help. Use that time for the things we're talking about in this video. Drink your water, eat your breakfast, do some gentle stretching. Look out the window, just let your brain wake up gradually without being bombarded by outside demands. If you're worried about missing something important, remember that whatever is happening in the news or in your messages will still be there in 20 minutes. It's not going anywhere. But those first few peaceful moments of your day can really set a different tone for everything that follows. This might take some practice if you're used to grabbing your phone immediately, but many people tell me it's one of the most helpful changes they've made. The fifth morning mistake is skipping gentle movement or stretching. After lying still all night, your muscles and joints can feel stiff, achy, and reluctant to cooperate. If you skip any kind of gentle movement and go straight into your daily activities, you might find that your body feels heavy and uncooperative, which can translate into feeling tired and low energy. Even just 5 or 10 minutes of gentle stretching or light movement can help wake up your body and get your blood circulating, which brings oxygen to your muscles and brain. Here's a simple routine you might try. After you've sat on the edge of your bed for that initial wake-up minute, try gently rolling your shoulders forward and backward a few times. Slowly turn your head to look over one shoulder, then the other. If it's comfortable, raise your arms overhead and take a nice deep breath, then lower them back down. Stand up slowly, holding on to something stable, and do a few gentle knee bends, just a small dip, nothing deep. March in place lightly for 30 seconds to a minute. Finish by reaching your arms out to the sides and taking a few more deep breaths. None of this should be strenuous or painful. If anything hurts, stop that particular movement. If you have balance concerns, do these exercises while holding onto a sturdy chair or countertop. If you use a mobility aid, keep it close by. The goal isn't to work up a sweat or push yourself hard. It's just to gently signal to your body that it's time to move and to shake off that overnight stiffness that can make everything feel harder. The sixth morning mistake is not getting any natural light exposure. This one is so simple, but so many people overlook it. Natural light, especially in the morning, plays a powerful role in regulating your internal clock. When light enters your eyes, it signals to your brain that daytime has begun, which helps suppress melatonin, the hormone that makes you feel sleepy and promotes alertness. If you spend your entire morning in a dim house with the curtains closed, your brain might not get the message that it's time to wake up. Try to get some natural light within the first hour of waking. Open your curtains or blinds as part of your morning routine. If possible, step outside for even just a few minutes. You could sit on your porch, stand in your yard, or take a short walk to the mailbox. If the weather doesn't allow for that, sitting near a bright window can also help. On very dark winter mornings, some people find it helpful to use a light therapy lamp designed to mimic natural daylight, but please do some research or ask your doctor before purchasing one to make sure it's appropriate for you. The key is consistency. Try to get that light exposure at roughly the same time each morning. This helps reinforce your natural circadian rhythm and can make it easier to both wake up in the morning and fall asleep at night. It's a small habit that can have ripple effects throughout your whole day. The seventh and final morning mistake is drinking too much caffeine, especially on an empty stomach. Now, I'm not here to tell you to give up your morning coffee. For many people, that cup of coffee or tea is a beloved ritual, and moderate caffeine intake is generally considered safe for most adults. But there are two issues that can turn caffeine from a helper into an energy drain. First, if you drink coffee or strong tea on a completely empty stomach, it can stimulate the production of stomach acid, which might lead to digestive discomfort, acid reflux, or nausea for some people. It can also cause your blood sugar to fluctuate in unexpected ways. Second, if you drink too much caffeine too quickly, it can overstimulate your nervous system, leading to jitteriness, anxiety, and a racing heart, followed by an energy crash later in the day. Here's a gentler approach. Try to eat something, even if it's small, before or alongside your first cup of coffee. Limit yourself to 1 or 2 cups in the morning rather than constantly refilling throughout the day. Pay attention to how your body responds. If you notice that you feel great after coffee one day and terrible the next, think about what else was different. Did you eat first? How much did you drink? How quickly? Everyone's tolerance is a little different, so it's about finding what works for your body. And if you're sensitive to caffeine or have been advised to limit it, consider switching to half-calf or herbal tea. Now that we've covered the 7 mistakes, I want to address a few common myths about morning energy that I hear all the time. The first myth is that if you're tired in the morning, you just need more sleep. While sleep is certainly important, the quality of your sleep and what you do when you wake up can matter just as much as the quantity. Someone who gets 7 hours of good sleep and has a supportive morning routine may feel much more energized than someone who gets 9 hours of fragmented sleep and starts their day with habits that work against them. The second myth is that you should power through morning tiredness with willpower. Some people believe that if they just force themselves to ignore the fatigue, it will eventually go away. But ignoring what your body is telling you isn't usually the answer. Instead, it's about understanding why you feel the way you do and making adjustments that support your energy naturally. The third myth is that morning fatigue is just an inevitable part of aging. While it's true that some things change as we get older, chronic exhaustion is not something you simply have to accept. Many seniors feel vibrant and energized well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond. If you're struggling with fatigue, it's worth exploring the possible causes rather than just assuming it's your age. That said, I want to be very clear about when you should see a doctor. If you're experiencing persistent, unexplained fatigue that doesn't improve with lifestyle changes, please talk to your healthcare provider. Fatigue can sometimes be a sign of underlying conditions like thyroid problems, anemia, sleep apnea, heart issues, or other health concerns that need medical attention. You should also seek immediate medical help if your tiredness is accompanied by chest pain or pressure, sudden shortness of breath, unexplained weakness or numbness, especially on one side of your body, severe dizziness or fainting, or any symptom that feels like an emergency to you. Trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, it's always better to get it checked out. Don't dismiss warning signs as just normal aging. Let's quickly recap what we covered today. Mistake number 1, hitting the snooze button repeatedly, which fragments your sleep and leaves you groggy. Mistake number 2, jumping out of bed too quickly, which can cause dizziness and unsteadiness. Mistake number 3, going too long without water or food, which leads to dehydration and low blood sugar. Mistake number 4, reaching for screens immediately, which triggers stress and mental fatigue before you're even fully awake. Mistake number 5, skipping gentle movement or stretching, which leaves your body stiff and sluggish. Mistake number 6, not getting natural light exposure, which confuses your internal clock. And mistake number 7, drinking too much caffeine on an empty stomach, which can cause jitters and energy crashes. Remember, you don't have to change everything at once. Pick 1 or 2 of these that resonated with you and start there. Small steps really do add up over time. Be patient with yourself. Your body has spent years developing these morning habits, so it might take a little while to build new ones. Progress looks different for everyone, and that's okay. If you found this helpful, I'd be so grateful if you'd give this video a thumbs up. It really does help other seniors find this information, and it lets me know that these topics are useful to you. If you're not subscribed yet, consider joining our community. I share new videos every week with simple, practical tips to help you stay strong, healthy, and independent as you age. If you'd like to keep going, I recommend watching my video on evening habits that may help you sleep better. Getting your evenings right works hand in hand with improving your mornings. I'll put the link on screen and in the description for you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I truly appreciate you being here. Take care of yourself, be gentle with yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.